Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting of the 8th of March, 2023. I am a little bit sorry because we are a little bit late. I'm a little bit late, and that was partly me that I lost the password, so I'm so sorry. And sorry, folks. So I am joined here with my colleagues and from the Technical Steering Committee. We have almost a full house with almost everybody, 15 people. So thank you for joining. I think it's just time to jump into the announcements. Is there any announcements?
Yeah, I just want to remind collaborators, anyone watching the call, that I'll be updating our Jenkins server tomorrow, so it may be up and down while I upgrade it.
Cool. Okay. Perfect. So Jenkins. And okay. Please help me with the minutes while we are doing. I have an announcement. We have the NodeConf as dates for next year. So I don't know if you are if you're planning on coming, or if you plan to speak there, or if you're thinking of speaking there. NodeConf is coming back. The call for proposal will be open soon. So stay tuned on the channels. But if you want to start penciling those dates, if you want, the NodeConf will be between the 6th and 8th of November 2023. So yeah. So that's it. No, I don't know, Rich, have you got any update from the CPC? I've been missing the last few things. So
it was a working meeting this week, so I don't think I have any updates. Yeah.
Cool. From the board perspective, everything is going okay. There is part of the important stuff. I think everything is going well. There is 2 events planned for this year for OpenJS as part of the Open Source Summit. Quick reminder for everybody: one is in Vancouver, and the other one will be in Bilbao. Then we can just jump into the issues for Node.js/Node. And the first one is marks the test runner as stable in Node 20. No, sorry, Anatoly has raised your hand. So go, Anatoly. What's oh yeah, sorry, you need to get promoted. Sorry about this.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take care of that.
Also, I want to propose a motion. I would like to vote Danielle back in.
I'll second that.
No objections.
+1, yeah.
All right. I think the charter says that a standard motion is all that's required, and with 15 members here today out of, I think there's now 20 members of the TSC, I think that's plenty. I'm going to go check real quick to make sure the charter doesn't require a vote. If it does, we'll just do that I'll just count all the +1s in the chat and probably just call it a day. Yeah, I think we can move on unless somebody has something they want to say.
I mean, does it make any sense to do a vote just to like reset the script, and
no,
that way we have a recorded vote that's the first time in however many months?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think we should do a vote just to have a vote.
I love voting, so I'm voting. So I'm votes. It's one of my favorite study activities. So like meetings, to have meetings, to discuss meeting schedules. It's amazing. Cool. Okay. So that's that gets sorted. Yeah. So okay, then we have Node.js. So let's go back into the issues. So we have issue 46642 in Node.js/node. Mark the test runner as stable. I think this issue is just there for visibility, so that everybody knows that we plan to make the test runner stable in Node 20. And this is not, was the TSC agenda was removed, and there is even a PR open now. So I don't think we need to discuss this at all, but mentioning it because it's written by the script.
Yeah, just a reminder, I'm planning to do the cutoff by to the Node.js 20 by the end of this month. So if you plan to include something similar major, it's their time.
Yeah, this is quite a good announcement. So announcements and Rafael to cut. You will still be pulling in the main from there, right? Or no?
Well, you can still I will create the proposal, I guess, in April 1st.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Next issue is issue 46608. Bump the default high watermark in streams. Okay, these as an objection from Brian White.
If I remember correctly, Ronan, Robert, I think we commented in the previous TSC meeting about including a benchmark or something for that, right?
Yeah, but this problem still goes back. There is another issue where we want to increase the default max semi-space size, which has benchmarks, and we didn't go forward with that for the same reason. So I'm not quite sure a benchmark here makes any difference for the actual issue at hand, which is it okay to increase the Node.js memory usage, knowing that we might break some constrained environments? And benchmark or not, that still stays. So the question is, is it okay to break constrained environments? And do we prioritize, the average user, which has sufficient memory, in my opinion, or do we prioritize compatibility with?
My take here and my question is how big is this? Okay, like I don't know, if I open up a Node.js service receiving HTTP requests and sending them out, increasing those high watermarks or increasing max those spaces size, how much?
It depends a lot on different factors.
I know, but the
Size
question
of the writes. So we had one problem, for example, in our streams is that we do back pressure, even though synchronously there wouldn't be any back pressure. And then if that synchronous write is less than the high watermark, then it's a huge difference in performance for that edge case. And yes, we have less ping-ponging back and forth with back pressure.
No, it's not the performance I'm talking about. I'm talking about the memory usage.
The memory usage. Yeah. Well,
yeah, I don't like. Okay, so the objection is we are going to break constrained memory usage, right? Now,
it is actually difficult to say what the exact memory usage would be, because it really depends on the use case. Like if you have probably just a couple of requests coming through, it would just improve the performance and you would probably not have like high spikes. But if there is like a lot at the same time, then the memory usage could easily spike up a lot more. So it's really difficult to give an exact answer to this. It could actually even decrease the average memory usage in some cases because the performance is higher, so you get through more packages. But that's probably not the most common case. Still,
the worst case. Sorry, I went in ahead of line. The worst case here is, if the clients are receiving slower than the server is sending, so you're maxing out the back pressure, and then it's a 48K extra memory per connection.
Go ahead, Girish.
Thanks. So when it comes to the common workload, these days, one of the pattern is containerized workloads. And by definition, containerized workloads like constrained memory, or the less memory your process uses, the better cost effective the container is. So probably, I mean, without having real evidence of increasing the default memory capacity being really beneficial, I think we better be cautious about changing the default. That's my opinion.
That's a truth with modification, though, because it depends if you're memory or CPU bound. It could also mean that if we increase the performance, then you can buy less CPUs instance.
it's part of that problem. So the V8 and Node.js have this very weird relationship, counterintuitive relationship on the fact that if you make an asynchronous flow faster, okay, it will it's actually probable, or it's actually more probable that it will allocate, the memory will live for less time, which in true means it will stay less into the there is a higher chance that it will be collected when it's still in new space and is never migrated to old space. And that actually reduces memory usage. So to be honest, I don't think we can I don't think we can get a good number on that on that front. So I don't think the 16K variable value is good anyway, mainly because for the FS1s we have 32 already overridden, which tells us a story of, well, maybe it should just be 32 everywhere, at least. If not, as Ronak said, 64. Okay, but I don't think this will improve. Will change memory usage in most cases. So
what we could do is still to check like the overall memory being available and choosing a limit for different available memory. That would be one possibility. Another one would be to implement a heuristic and to change the memory amount. That would be like an optimized setting privilege, or to have a fixed setting and to tell users in that case, hey, please check your use case, which they have to do in the end, one way or the other. Right, they should do it, but this is mainly like the increased memory is probably like better for the default user. And we just tell the people, hey, please check if this is still the right thing. And we are now going to change it for hopefully more people to be better by default. Yeah.
So I guess there is no point increasing beyond 64 KB because most of the operating system kernels have 64 KB buffers for the data transport. So if you're increasing beyond that, it's never going to be used.
So you confirm that they use most operating system as 64 max or 64 SAT?
64 set. Yeah.
Yes. So it seems that seems to me a very good point of keeping one-to-one with the operating system. Like, I don't know. It's I find myself in agreement on that statement.
Yeah, the design decision by the operating system would be to cover as much as possible in most of the workload scenarios. But for Node.js, given the most common use case would be interactive workload that involves web, then the decision could be based on what's the reasonable size of the payload that comes through the stream.
Usually it's files, right?
I'm sorry?
Usually it's files that are sent through the stream.
No, all HTTP responses flow through the stream, which is most.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
So it sounds to me like we have some confidence that it will increase performance, and we're on the fence on whether or not it actually increases memory usage or not. It's very usage dependent. In my opinion, like I think 99% of our users would benefit from this, where we have 1% that have very constrained specific environments that might get affected by this in a negative way. But we have that other PR where, you know, you can set the default high water mark. And in those cases, I would even recommend them to reduce it.
Yeah, but look, if we want to, sorry, I know there is Richard. Go, Richard.
I saw the PR is marked both Semver Major and Baking for LTS, which is a bit odd, but I'd be okay with us changing that for Semver Major, but I'd be very reluctant to change the default in an LTS line. Just out of sheer caution, you know, if there's any danger that a workload would suddenly fail on a, you know, Semver minor upgrade in LTS, that's a big sort of barrier for me to allow something into an LTS release. So I'm just sort of just commenting on the labels I can see on the issue. So I'd like to rule out changing the default based on the conversations that happens here on an LTS line, but you know, I'm open to changing it on the major boundary.
Oh, sorry, made a mistake. Okay, so yeah, agreed. That seems reasonable. I have one point to make. If people are in constrained environments, they should really like if we target constrained environment runtimes and situation, we should really be looking in something Colin and myself have been thinking of doing in the last while, which is the pointer compression builds. There is an issue open on build, and essentially if you enable pointer compression, you basically cut memory usage close to half, very close to half of what Node.js usually consumes. So a little bit more than half. So it's for most applications, which is kind of essentially massive at this point. So just to clarify, like there is a lot that can be done for memory constrained environments if we want to improve them so much.
So what is our decision on this? Do we override the objection, or?
I think we will need to do a vote. Like I would prefer the vote to be recorded in an asynchronous fashion. So I think was Antoine the one that latest set up the voting mechanism, or I don't know how to do it, to be honest. It was the voting via PR thing. But we will need to do a vote, and I think it's probably better if we do it asynchronously. So if there is somebody.
If we do it asynchronously, can someone just write up, or maybe this already exists, which would be great. Could someone just write up, like, here are the pros and cons of each approach, and then it's like, you know, whoever votes has that to refer to.
Yeah, I don't have, I don't know how to set up the vote, and I am not going to volunteer for that specific task, mainly because I'm really constrained on time in the next few weeks. So, but maybe Robert, can you get that done? And then I don't know how to get the to set up the vote, but
let's take the vote chat back to the Slack channel, because Antoine's active there, and if he is happy to set up a vote, then great, and if not, we'll just do something. We'll either, you know, we'll open an issue or something. We'll figure it out. But why don't we just take the vote mechanics back to Slack and get the vote happening as soon as we can.
Yeah. Okay.
And on this point, I would just for consideration in the future, we have this other issue about increasing the max semi-space size, which actually has some numbers and benchmarks. It was like up to 17% improves throughput, and I don't know if we should probably take that as a separate issue, but I would like to reopen that and tag that to the TSC agenda again.
Please do. While we are at it, please do.
So
I wasn't aware we were talking about increasing that, but
I was looking to it too.
I would second that landing for 20, to be honest.
I don't actually know how to change that on our side without requiring the CLI tool. So if somebody actually knows how to create a PR that modifies that setting, that would be great. And then
it's just an issue. This is just an issue.
It's just an issue for now.
Okay, yeah. Let's put. Somebody need to figure out how to change that default, but we can figure it out. Or if we can make it for 20, we can make it for 21. I don't.
Yeah. I'll just comment there and say that we'd love to have a PR.
To discuss, yeah. Again, I'm not. I think it would be great, like improving it. In my opinion, actually, that decreases memory usage, not increases memory usage.
Yeah.
So that's the complete reverse of what you would expect it to happen.
Yeah, well, I've added the help wanted label on that and comment that we'd love to have a PR. And then we can discuss that at a later meeting, but it's a little bit the same thing.
Perfect. Okay. Next one up is issue 1348. Which is on the TSC repo, which is update security working group. And I think these needs just an approval for us. But I think there is nothing much to do. So if you can just take a look and approve. Basically, there is a change of the name in the security of the change of the work. So essentially. I don't know if there is anything else to talk about this. Then there is another nice discussion. These I will defer to Rich.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just on that last one. I don't know if you're moving on to the next topic, but on that last one, when that group was initially chartered, there was concern that naming it security working group would result in people reporting vulnerabilities in Node Core there. And I don't know if that's still a concern or not. I don't have an opinion one way or the other, but that was the reason why it was named or renamed at some point. I forget, ecosystem working group or whatever. The other thing is people didn't want the implication to be that working group set the security process for Node Core. And I see that Raphael has something he wants to say to that, so I'll let him say it.
Yeah, so basically we use security group for quite some time. The only change that Thomas did was to update the ecosystem to Node.js security working group. We use it for quite some time, and we don't receive reports there. So I think we are good. I think that it's not a concern anymore. But
yeah, my sense is that it may have been a concern about something that would have never materialized. I don't know, but just blurting that out for historical context for people. And other than that, let's move on. Sorry to take up a little time. I don't have, like I said, I don't have an opinion one way or the other about the name of the group. I'm happy to just defer to the group on what their name should be.
Perfect. Then there is an issue about so if people okay, then there is an issue on issue 1343 on the Node.js TSC repo, making performance tier working group. Reality is there was some discussion back and forth. No, we didn't really think that this is something that needs a working group right now, mainly because there is no real, we don't see much responsibility to delegate to this group, essentially, at this point. However, we were thinking of making improving the performance of Node.js as a strategic initiative, and nominating nominating Yagith Anonring as the champion. Does anybody object to that?
I think that's perfect. Oh, go ahead, Raphael.
I just have a question. Usually when we have a strategic initiative, we have an end goal, right? We have an object to conclude. But when we talk about performance, it's we don't have an end for that. It's a continuous work.
Okay.
Faster than BAM, then we can close it.
Yeah, I think we should have an end goal. Okay. However, it's never going to be an end goal. Essentially, like I think the goalpost will move all the time.
What does making it a strategic initiative, bring to the table? Is it visibility?
Visibility, mostly.
Because I think what the performance group might need is some resources to, have these benchmarks running.
But this doesn't impact the fact that it's a team or a working group or a strategic initiative in any form.
It should just keep at ease,
So yeah, I don't know. Like again, it's also some recognition for the work that Yagith has been doing, essentially.
Yeah, I would like to continue encouraging this work because I think it's been amazing. It's been really good.
So it's like the problem. So part of the reason while let's look at where this work starts. So this work starts with all these new runtime that came in and that released benchmarks showing that they were so much better and faster than the Node. And then it's, well, this is what it is. Okay, sorry, to be clear. And then a group of people, including Yagith, but also others, started working to make sure that Node benchmarks were not that bad, essentially, anymore. So so that's it, really. Okay, so I just don't want to. So this is possibly that can be the end goal. Okay, I am putting it as there. Okay, keep. Yeah. Okay. So cool. Okay. I think we can ask Yagith. I would tag him and to about the strategic initiatives. So really. Have an and go. Okay. I've tagged him, asked him. I think we can talk about it next time. Or not, just keep it on GitHub. Okay. If there is something that you okay. If there is something that you have to say about this, please let me know. Okay. And sorry, more importantly, pass it on the issue, not let me know. Pass it on the issue. So the next one is issue 1338, drop mandatory meeting attendance requirement.
That was Colin, but that was closed in favor of the charter change that I've recently opened to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we can just probably remove that, other than for me to say I would really appreciate if people could look at and comment on, or even just hit the thumbs up or thumbs down on the charter change proposal that I have as a pull request in the TSC repository. And
okay.
I can try to pop that into the chat so you can copy it into the minutes. It is.
Yeah, if you can, somebody can help me a little bit on the minutes, that would be really appreciated.
I'll go ahead and drop it directly into the minutes. It's 1350.
Yeah. So these issues should be not have the TSC agenda anymore. Then
well, that issue, it won't matter because that issue is closed, so it won't come up.
No, it's not closed. It's open.
Well, 1338 is closed. 1350 has the TSC agenda label, and I'd like to leave it on because if we don't have resolution by the next meeting, something.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So.
Sorry, no, it's not closed. Proposed the one from Colin, the proposal 1338 is not closed. It's an open issue.
Oh, I'm sorry. The pull request is closed. Yeah, the issue is still open. I'm sorry.
So I think this can be closed, Colin.
Do you want to say anything, Colin, since you opened it?
No, as long as the plan is for the meeting attendance requirement to go away, I'm fine with whatever direction we go in.
Yeah, we can remove the TSC agenda from that because it's on the pull request. So yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Okay. And it looks like you already did that. So
yeah. Okay. One question, Rich. Do we once upon a time we had in some of those documents the list of TSC member affiliations for each one of us. I couldn't find it anywhere recently. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. Do we still have it or we don't?
I have. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying I'm not saying that document doesn't or never existed, but I have no recollection of us actually having a document like what companies people work. I think we might have. I don't remember that.
I don't remember. Yeah, no, fine. Yeah, this is a question of. Okay. Perfect.
I also don't remember, but it could have been the CPC rather than the TSC because we used to have the split. But yeah, I don't recall seeing that written down anywhere.
Yeah, it might be just me, that weird memory. So,
and I don't think any company right now is anywhere near having the at the whatever it is 30% threshold or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a big problem. Yeah, perfect. Okay. With that, there is one more. I think this is for visibility. Two more. For visibility, enable Node.js node discussion as org discussions. Issue 679 in the admin repo. Essentially, we have part of the why this, Rich, you put it on the agenda?
I'm sorry, I was trying to address other issues right now. Which one are we talking about in the admin?
679, the org-wide discussions.
Oh, did I do? I didn't leave a comment. That's
well. Does anybody object to enable Node.js org-wide as Node.js node discussion as org discussions?
Discussions.
If nobody objects, I will call it a day.
I'm trying to find it in the minutes. Here we go. Apologize for being a little bit behind. 679.
Admin say it's linked in the chat here.
Okay. I've added to the TSC agenda label because I'd like to get this enabled this week. Great. Okay. Yeah, cool. Sounds like there's nobody who has strong opinions. So yeah, I'll take the TSC agenda label off of it and I'll enable it and we'll see what we'll see if anything breaks. Hopefully not.
Cool. Last but not least, LLHTTP 216. This has been open for quite some time, mostly my fault. I should have done some stuff and I probably didn't. But I think this landed, I don't know, Rana, you put it on the agenda. So do you remember the state of maintenance? You wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, right. Well, I think we're kind of where we were left off. I'm fine with taking it off. Matteo, you found a video from what's his name that was explaining how LLHTTP works. So if somebody wants to get speed up on that, even though there's no documentation, I think that video is sufficient.
Okay.
I guess the only problem we have today is that we don't have so many people that knows it, but I'm sure if it's required, we can figure it out with that. So I'm fine with removing it from the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, it will be great if there is somebody listening that wants to take that video and put it on a textual form. It will help quite a lot of us.
Yep.
just so that you are aware, if you want to do a nice contribution to the Node.js project, that would be really useful, especially if you're a tech writer or something that wants to contribute. So these can be, but this still needs this issue still needs some, is still open. There is this PR open. So, okay. I don't think there's anything to do about this anyway. Cool. Okay. I think this is all. There is nothing much more to talk about. What the status of the strategic initiatives? Is there any updates, stuff that you want to let us know?
Shadow is working on the post in the chat. It's the initial work to bootstrap web interfaces in the Shadow Realm.
Okay. Cool. Can you add some text about it into the minutes, Shenzong, so that it's all covered?
Yeah, definitely.
Great. And can that PR land, or are we? Oh, we are waiting for Joy. Okay.
I believe we are still waiting for Joy's response.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Great. Happy to see that progressing. Amazing. Okay. Is there anything, any other news about the strategic initiatives? No. Perfect. With that, I would let everybody go. And say, for people that tuned in to watch the TSC meeting, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.